Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside High Rated DB. This is the live commentary series where I just go ahead, hop into random high rated DB games, and see what goes down. Maybe I shouldn't be having my overlay here so you guys can actually see these guys' ratings. But Breakdown DL here has 1034, and then Gunslinger Goat has 733. So it's not like the super top of the ladder, but it's good enough to feature, hopefully. Again, whenever I hop into these matchups, it really just is kind of a gamble. But it looks like Gunslinger Goat is actually on Mathmech, which is a really interesting deck that some of you guys actually did want me to sort of cover here. But it has the potential to be a pretty explosive combo deck. It doesn't end on like infinite negations or anything like that. But Super Factorial is a very crazy disruption tool. Right here you see Sign Up Mining pitching the Sigma. That's going to search for a copy of Ibli. And Ibli is also a really sick card because you can just go ahead and protect yourself from things like Gamma, Nibiru, Imperm. So like all these cards that are super high impact normally in the metagame can actually, just be very dead when your opponent has an Ibli on their side of the field. So I really like this tech a lot. You're going to have to Gamma the Ibli. And ashing the Gamma in response just to make sure that the Ibli stays on board. I really do like this because the Gamma is never going to be live now. And yeah, that is just it just shows how high value this card is. Because both players already placing a lot of stock into it, trying to just stop it from reaching his side of the field for breakdown here. And then Ash ensuring that it resolves. So one-time Pasco going to be coming down next. This summons a Cyberse token. It is a hard once per turn, but really that's all you need because it gets you into Devotee, which on summon locks you out of Link 3 or higher Link monsters for the rest of the turn. But if it's tributed, you can also summon 2 other Link tokens. And Link Disciple allows you to tribute whatever monster is pointed to, or whatever monster it points to rather. So you can draw one and then shuffle or put one card back. But basically you want the tokens here because there's really cool combos you can do with the Devotee. We'll probably see stuff like Cyberse Wicked, so you can like search Mathmech tuners. You can go for a lot of plays. You can go for like Code Talker Extended or Inverted. I forget which one it is. The one that points sideways that lets you special summon from your hand. And then you can go for like Masquerena and stuff too. This is like a lot of really cool things. And Link Cross is also Cyberse. So we see one of the tokens, the Devotee tokens, or they're just called Link tokens, I guess, go into Link Rebo. And then going for Splash Mage actually. And we see a copy of Balinx here, which is pretty interesting. So I do kind of wonder, he's actually using the Balinx effect, which is going to search for a Sanctuary. So maybe this isn't Mathmech? I don't know, maybe it's like a hybrid. Now I'm very curious. So Splash Mage is going to go ahead and summon a Cyberse in defense position. Obviously, it locks you into Cyberses, but that's pretty much like everything in this tech. A lot of Cyberse cards lock you into Cyberses. So it looks like the target is going to be Sigma, of course, that's the only target. And this is, for now, just a free body. So we shall see what ends up happening. A little bit surprised that it wasn't used beforehand. Just when it was in graveyard, because it can summon itself for free, but it does banish itself. So Link Cross is going to be summoned from the Splash Mage. That's going to summon out 2 other Link tokens. So these are all called Link tokens. I wonder if that's ever going to be relevant. So yeah, we are going to see the Cyberse Wicked, which can't be destroyed by battle card effects as long as it's Link summoned, and also gives protection to Cyberse monsters that it points to from effect destruction. And you can do the Link Rebo play, where you go ahead and summon it to the zone it points to, so you can use its other effect, which allows you to banish a Cyberse monster from your grave to add a Cyberse tuner from deck to hand. You can also proc this on your opponent's turn if you use a Masquerena, so that's really cool. There's a lot of really good Cyberse tuners you can add, such as Nabla. So yeah, this allows you to special it for free, and that's actually just going to be the end of the game. So opening Gamma, but the Ibli just forcing it out, and Ash denying that as well. So yeah, that's just going to be a very swift game 1. Unfortunate that we didn't get to see the full combo here. But I mean, that is kind of just what happens in high rated DB sometimes. People just don't really want to sit through combos, which is fair enough. We might be able to see it in game 3 or game 2, just depending on how things shape up. Because people are less likely to scoop, I guess, in like the last game of the set, just because you might as well keep playing. But yeah, we'll end up seeing what ends up happening. If you guys do enjoy this series, if you guys are enjoying the live commentary, again, I hope that I can continue to improve and do better. I actually spent the previous weekend rather, or this past weekend, so 2 days ago by the time you see this. I don't know why I had such a hard time saying that, but I spent that time co-commentating MBT's Quarantine series, the Top Cut. It's actually on his channel if you want to see the VOD of it. There were some crazy matches there, specifically Unchained versus Dragon Link in top 8. That was an absolute banger of a match. But we are going to see Breakdown DL go first in game number 2 here. We don't know what he's playing still, but we do see Desires. So this could be any manner of deck. It could be like any zoo build. It could be Virtual World. So we'll have to see what ends up happening in this game right here. If you guys do like this video though and enjoy this series, I didn't get to finish my sentence there, but definitely give the video a like, as well as just consider subscribing if you're one of the 56% of people who aren't subscribed to the channel currently. Alright, but we are going to see Virtual World. So it's going to be Nian Nian being the normal summon here, and then going to use Lao Lao after that. So that's going to go ahead and summon itself to the field, sending a spell or a trap, probably the Qinglong. Lao Lao is one of the cards that you don't want to burn right away because it helps you play through Nibiru. Specifically, of course, if you have Chuche on board, or Qinglong, I suppose, just anything to insulate yourself past Nibiru. Qinglong gonna go ahead and use its effect. So looks like Gunslinger Goat doesn't have any responses either. Gonna search for Lulu. We'll see what the send is. Gonna be the Chuche. That's a pretty strong send. So what you can do here is you can use Lulu, you can like target a monster, send another trap, and then search Kowloon. Although it might not be possible because one of the traps could very well be banished off this Desires here. So like that's ideally what you would do if you obviously can't search a monster, which you can't if you only have monsters. So Lulu gonna go ahead and target one of these monsters. That's gonna summon itself to the field, and we'll see what ends up happening. Like what the send and what the search are going to be, because the Desires could make things a bit awkward, especially because one of the Chuche was already in hand. Alright, so we're going to send Qinglong to search a Chuche. So this is probably the route that you would go if you can't afford to like burn all your Chuches, because you don't have all access to all of them. So we are going to see the Chuche Graveyard effect that is going to level modulate here. We'll see what ends up being the level increase. It's going to be Lulu to become a level 6. So that's going to go ahead and be synchroned off with the Nian Nian, who has not used its effect yet. It's going to go for a Croco Dragon. That's going to draw a card. There's like a lot of really cool plays you can do if you guys have not been keeping up necessarily with like the intricacies. Like you can go like Shen Shen and then reduce its level by 3 with Chuche, and then synchro with the Shen Shen plus the tuner to go Cloud Castle. That just like sets you up immediately for VFD. Looks like you're just gonna set 3 and pass though. You can also go like Vermilion to pop itself and then add back a tuner. You can add back like a Lao Lao, so that sets you up for Cloud Castle as well. So that's like just a lot of free ways to get into VFD a lot more simply. Oh, but Lightning Storm gonna be hitting the back row here. That was a blind side, and this actually is a 45 card list. Hitting Imperm Skill Drain, which is very, very big here. And we'll see what the last one ends up being. It's going to be the Chuche. So he sent the Skill Drain and Imperm to grave, and then like flipped up the Chuche afterward to recycle it. Like he already started resolving Lightning Storm, and then just like decided to want to use the Chuche. His opponent didn't seem to mind too much though, which I guess if your opponent's cool with it, then I guess we'll see. If it's unlikely to make a big difference anyway. I mean, on DB, I wouldn't really tend to like shard that kind of thing personally. But we're gonna see a Kaiju over the Croc, which was like the only remaining kind of disruption just on the field, and then a Pankratops afterward. So a lot of go second tools here sided in. And going to be summoning the Mathmech Sigma. I wonder if this was normal or specialed, because you can, in fact, special it because there's nothing in the EMZ that you control. Backup Secretary going to be an extender. Like I feel like a lot of people actually forgot about this card. It's just a free summon, which is cool. But gonna go for the Link Disciple. and then going to link away the secretary for a copy of Devotee. I really am curious to see what the purpose of the like Almirage and stuff is. Oh, but the Nibiru are going to be coming down because the Kaiju and the Pankratops and all these Link monsters. But this co-linked card was tributed, so you can actually summon 2 more tokens because it was tributed via Nibiru. So I think that was a bit of an early Nibiru. Very preemptive. So we'll see if that gets punished. It very well can be. Plus, because the Sigma wasn't used and it was normaled, you can actually bring it back now. So Gunslinger actually has 4 monsters to work with still. Gonna be using one of those tokens away for a copy of Link Haribo. And I actually forgot to check Cyberse Wicked's material requirements, so I guess we'll see. I imagine you're able to make it here. But yeah, any manner of or Splash Mage could also fit the bill. Or you can Splash Mage back the Sigma or the backup secretary. You like turn this into Link Cross. You can do just so many different things. That's gonna target the backup secretary actually. There is a Link monster that has synergy with this card specifically, but I don't remember what it does. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you would like devote a spot to play it, just because obviously you know you have to draw this card. But yeah, gonna be turning this into Link Cross. That is going to be summoning 2 tokens to the field. It might be useful to like try and maybe mark the Nibiru token, but I mean I think technically I don't know if they actually. I read through quickly like some of the rule changes, but I'm not sure if like you can mark differences in tokens. I guess in like real life play you would just like have different tokens, so it would make more sense. But like on DB all the tokens look the same, of course. So gonna be going for Wicked. Alright, that just requires 2 Cyberses, so it's very generic for this deck at least. Gonna go for Link Haribo next, attributing one of the tokens that's gonna summon itself to this zone right here. Misplay is fine, he says. But you also used Chuche in the middle of resolving Lightning Storm. But I digress. Yeah, he did put it in the wrong zone. But I guess, you know, neither player is too beat up about it. So Wicked's gonna go ahead and trigger here. I don't really know how. I mean, either way, you would have one of your zones blocked off. Maybe it will matter. We'll see. But yeah, gonna banish the Link Cross here. That's gonna search probably just the Nabla again. If anything, I think Nabla has to tribute a Cyberse to summon itself, so it's like you could have just tributed like this token if you had the Wicked in the other zone, and that opens up your other zone. Wait. So he's using Addition to target the Wicked, but he just didn't resolve the Wicked? Like he banished the Link Cross and never searched. Alright, so a bit of a messed up game state here. We'll see how this ends up playing out. It's kind of interesting. So gonna be ending on Masquerena. Really strange to me, just forgot to resolve his Wicked. I don't really know. We're gonna see main phase 1. Virtual World player is not out of the game because there is a Qinglong engrave. So there's also a Nian Yan engrave as well. So you have a fair amount of extension, but you do have to play through the IP. Now that can't go for like a unicorn. Well, it could, but there's nothing to pitch. Okay, so we're gonna see Kirin be discarded. I'm gonna normal summon the Nian Yan. That's gonna bring back the other Nian Yan. So you have a 6 synchro or a 9 synchro play. You could like raise this, or raise one of the levels, and then you can go for like Cloud Castle to bring back the Croc. So he's thinking in response, or just in this window. You can use Masquerena here. I actually can't think of what you go into if you are the Mathmech player here. We'll have to see. I'm very curious as to what the options are. So we're gonna link away that plus the link Rebo for link 3 or link 2. Yeah, my mind's just drawing a blank. I don't know what options there are. Okay. Gonna be going for a link 4, going for Avamax instead. Alright, he says that misplay is not fine. Which, honestly, like he did use the link Rebo. Yeah, so like you could just use all your monsters to go for Avamax. That like is the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but like it still fulfills the conditions for Avamax. But yeah, there comes a point where sometimes, you know, your opponent does misplay a bit too much and you gotta call it. Yeah, that one I probably would have called too, to be honest. So we'll see how Avamax is going to be outed. Because this is made with IP, so not only can it not be targeted with card effects, and it also has like the, you know, the sort of battle boost, but it also can't be destroyed by card effects because of IP's protection. So this is going to be relatively hard to get rid of. So looks like he's going to go for Chuche. That's going to raise one of these Nyans by 3. I believe this one is the tuner. So looking for a Synchro 9 play here. But this is pretty much the last push that Virtual World has right now. Both of them are pretty low in resources. But this game state, as long as this Avamax stays here, it's going to be able to like just clean up everything. So we shall see. This is one of the things with casting sort of just live gameplay is there's quite a bit of downtime. This Nyan should be banished. Okay, he's gonna fix it. But yeah, gonna go for a 9 synchro. We'll see what the play is. We'll see if it's just a Cloud Castle or if it's gonna be a Shen Shen. It looks like it's gonna be a Cloud Castle. So that's going to bring back the Croc. On resolution, going to use Link Rebo effect. That's going to tribute the remaining token. So I think he's just going to try and wall up with VFD for a couple of turns, which is fair enough. Yeah. So probably just going to pass, and it's going to be both players just trying to amass as many resources as possible. There is still the Sigma engrave. I'm still very surprised that they didn't catch the fact that Wicked never resolved. Oh, okay, so he's actually going to use VFD to call whatever attributes so they can crash into it. That way these can't trigger. I actually didn't even think about that for some reason, but that's like a very obvious play. Yeah, so Nibiru can crash, and they just hit over the Link Rebo. And you'll just be sitting on VFD for a little bit. Now, VFD here is actually not necessarily game-winning, just because like both players have no cards in hand. So like, even if it's a pass for another turn, like this VFD is not going to be enough to present lethal damage. We'll see if he uses this in standby. Because now that the EMZ is cleared, you can use this Sigma to special itself. Ooh, Dotscaper. That is a sick rip, actually. So you can like tribute Link Rebo, or tribute it for Link Rebo. Except VFD is going to call Dark here. Oh, calling Earth so that it can't float. What's the likelihood that 2 Link Rebos played, though? Probably not likely. Alright, so we're going to see standby phase, Link Rebo, going to be tributing the Dotscaper. You probably just trigger the Dotscaper anyway and hope that your opponent can't like push past it. Like next turn you can go for Sigma and then go for a Link 2. I'm not really sure what other Link 2s you could play. Is it like a second Splash Mage maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, this can be banished via Wicked, which is cool. So that can trigger its other once per duel effect, because it also works when it's banished. So we'll see what the top deck of Virtual World is. They have a very tough time operating on just one card, but there is still an Emanon engrave, so any normal summonable level 3 can get the job done, at least to some degree. It's going to be really wonky still, but could happen, could happen. For how explosive the game is, there is the Yash, so we're going to see Nyan Nyan come back. And now we're going to maybe go for like a Break Sword, or like a Jaja. What is he gonna make? Because these are both tuners. That is very weird what just happened there. So not only was Qinglong put back randomly, but this is illegally summoned. Yeah, I hope that. Yeah, I was about to private message this guy. I probably should have done it actually when they forgot to resolve the Wicked. Yeah, but at least they're catching it now. This is kind of sus, because the way this guy acted, like he didn't declare anything. He just like tried to move very slyly, and they also like randomly put back a Qinglong as well. That's a little suspect. But, you know, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. So we're going to see an overlay now. That's going to be for either Break Sword or Jaja. It's going to be Break Sword. So Break Sword going to attack. Then effective Link Rebo. And then attack with True King of All Calamities. And then that's just going to be a pass. There really is. Right, you can go for Zeus. Right. Alright, so this should be game for Virtual World anyway. So we'll see what the play ends up being. This is one of those times where it's like, do I really want to upload this? Because, like, that was a little that was a little questionable, but we'll carry on here and hope that it's good enough, because I do want to showcase Mathmech on the channel at least. Pulling for Mathmech here just because it's Mathmech. It's a fun deck to watch. So we're gonna see Sigma revive itself. It doesn't look like it's too good here though, because Virtual World has Zeus. It's funny that like his Stardust Charge play would have actually just been worse, because like then he wouldn't have been able to make Zeus. So he could have like made it over the VFD, but it wouldn't have done anything. So like this actually was just better than what he tried to do, which was like summon with 2 tuners. Alright, so he's not using Bailings. I wonder if he like drew the Sanctuary or if he just sided it out, which I feel is the more likely kind of choice. So it's gonna go battle phase, and that's gonna be the end of the game here. So a bit of a kind of crusty game too, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of really weird things happened, where like the Wicked didn't search the tuner, and then there was like the Chu Chain like in response, not in response to the Lightning Storm, but like in the middle of Lightning Storm resolving, and then the Wicked being put in the different EMZ, like switching it back, and then like switching the Link materials for IP Masquerena, and then trying to make Stardust Charge with 2 tuners. There's like a lot of just like moments that happened there, but I mean, what can you say? It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Things like this can and definitely do happen. So we're gonna see Mathmech go first in game 3 here, And we'll see if this board ends up being uninterrupted, or if there will be hand traps. Gonna be revealing Sigma to special summon it first. That is a pretty decent start. This deck actually just has so many extenders. Like, you see Backup Secretary, I imagine he's on Parallel Exceed. And just like any number of ways to, just keep going. Gonna link that away for Link Disciple. Or you just like normal summon anything. Yeah, Backup Secretary gonna come down next. And then going to go for a copy of Link Devotee, or Devotee. This does actually activate on summon, by the way, so you can like Ghost Ogre this. So Link Disciple is going to get ashed, but that doesn't matter because it's tributes for cost, and the whole point is to trigger Devotee. You don't care about what you draw. Like, it cycles and makes your hand better. Like, it sculpts your hand, but like that's far less important. It's kind of hard to tell what is worth ashing in this deck, though. Like, I guess you ash the Alimbertian. Or, is Alimbertian the one that searches, or is it Laplacian? I get their names mixed up. But it's the one that can search the Mathmech card. That's the one that's probably worth ashing. Or I guess you could ash the Wicked. It's not bad either. Going for Splash Mage. It's kind of interesting because I see other people comboing with this deck, and they don't do Splash Mage. They just do... They just go for Wicked first, and then they use Link Rebo. But this guy's going for like Balinks in the whole thing. It's really interesting to me that he's like searching Sanctuary, because I really do wonder what the purpose of that is. Splash Mage is going to be used next. That's going to bring back the Secretary. If any of you guys actually do know what the point of the Sanctuary, like with the Baling stuff is, definitely let me know. Because right now I am a little bit puzzled. I mean, it does have the other effect, I guess, involving like Link monsters and like damage calculation and stuff, but I doubt that that's good enough of a reason to play this card. Like, if you wanted to play the Balings just as like to have a Link body on board, fair enough, but I don't know. I'm not sure why you would play the Sanctuary. Link Cross is going to be coming down next from the Splash Mage. That's going to summon out a couple tokens. Going to go ahead and link that away with the Balings for probably the Wicked. And then you can tribute a token for the Link Rebo. Hopefully, the Wicked actually resolves this time around. So, we shall see. Going to be tributing a token. That's going to trigger the Cyberse Wicked. Banish the Link Cross. And please search your tuner this time. That is going to be Gammaed. That is a reasonable Gamma. However, it can't be destroyed by card effects, so it will stay on the board. Now, yeah, there is a cost. Okay, just making sure. So, Ash Gamma, like, these felt really inopportune. I would have honestly Gammaed the Link Devotee. I actually was playing Adamantipator against this deck. I actually lost to this deck, by the way. But yeah, what I ended up doing was... Like, I misplayed a whole bunch because initially I just didn't know what was going on, but by game 2 I figured out, like, if I DD Crowed the Devotee when it was tributed for cost off the Disciple, then I could stop its tokens from coming out. Kotalker Inverted coming out next, right? It's not the other, or whatever Kotalker I was thinking of, but yeah, it's called Inverted. That's going to summon Nabla, which was already in hand, so the Gamma Wicked really didn't end up mattering at all. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and Nabla, tribute a token. That's gonna summon a Mathmech from a deck. So Sigma is banished at the moment. So right now there's not enough names for the Super Factorial to like do the really crazy stuff. Sigma gonna be the get here. There's also no Diameter. Diameter is the one that bestows... Oh, alright, never mind. Okay. How is this summoned? Was that normal? Because... Oh yeah, there was no normal, because we started off by specialing Sigma. And then specialing the Backup Secretary, that's right. It is Alimbertian. Okay, good. Alright. I'm glad that I at least somewhat know these cards. So Alimbertian is going to go ahead and detach 2. That's going to search for... Super Factorial. This also can summon a Mathmech back from Graveyard if you want to. Or you could just go for IP with these two. Yeah, like this is like the good setup. Like you can go for like Mask, the Cyber's Wicked. You have Super Factorial, which puts Diameter under it. Also, like once per turn during the turn, whatever exceeds monster that has this as material, or during the turn that card is special summoned when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can quick effect negate that effect. So looks like it's gonna be setting 2. So yeah, this is at least 3 disruptions. So Kowloon's gonna be the pickup here. That is going to grab a Virtual World Gate from deck. You could go for Chingon to try and force the Masquerena here. That is a play. Well, yeah, because you'll have Kowloon in grave. That is going to be the play. All right. I'm getting a little bit better at like figuring out these newer decks to me. Well, this deck isn't that new anymore, but Mathmech certainly is newer to me. So Chingon gonna go ahead. That's gonna banish the Kowloon. That's gonna probably target the Masquerena, forcing it out immediately. Now the cool thing is you can summon to the zone that the Wicked points to. So you can trigger Wicked. So you can go for like any Link 3 or Link 4, pretty much. Or you can go Unicorn if you like want to spin that back, which is not that bad of an option. And oh, looks like just gonna be letting it go. All right, gonna be using Kieran next. So that's gonna send either a trap or a monster, and then can send trap or monster. So you're gonna send Chuche and send Yan Yan. And then gonna go for, let's see what other virtual worlds are lurking in the hand. Pot of Desires. Okay, so we're gonna have to find something off the top here. Oh, Sign of Conflict. Ah, this card is just an Omni Negate if you control a Co-Talker. That's why Gunslinger did not use the Masquerena. Probably just wanted to keep these. Honestly, Cyber's Wicked is like really annoying to deal with. Because like you don't want to like waste removal on this, but you have to because it can't be destroyed by battle card effects. It's like you have to use some sort of removal on it. Gonna go battle phase and attack over. Oh, maybe Gunslinger has something in main phase. Okay, not gonna do anything. Yeah, I don't think you use Super Factorial. I think you just go for it. Or let it go and then see what happens. Because like if this is just a set card or whatever, like you can just use Super Factorial later. It's fine. On Declaration, Super Factorial is going to be used in now. I don't know if I agree with this. Because like Resolving Location is really, really good. And like you don't care too much about your IP going to grave here. I don't know. I personally would have probably saved it. Just in case that last card in hand was anything crazy. And it is kind of like a weird thing with Super Factorial and Diameter. Because like with Diameter, or sorry, with Super Factorial, like you have to wait for them to kind of commit to the board a little bit to get max value out of your Location. But with Diameter, you want to prevent them from like using any like other powerful playmakers. But that is going to be the end of the game. So we're going to see Mathmech take this one. Yeah, that's going to get like Wicked. And then Location could like basically have its kind of Trishula-esque effect. It sends a random card from hand or a monster or a spell and trap. Like you can use any of these effects as long as you don't use them like multiple times. And you can choose like which effects. They don't have to be like necessarily. Like you don't have to activate this one and then this one. Like you skip over whichever ones you don't want. But yeah, this cool display of what Mathmech can do. Definitely a very, very cool deck. Yeah, so I imagine like you just go ahead, detach 2, you go ahead and send Lily and the card in hand to grave, and that is probably just going to be it. So very, very good stuff here. Thanks guys for watching the video. That's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media or support me via Patreon or TCG Player. All links are in the description as always. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.